A pivotal year awaits Clark Lea in Nashville. What's the most important game for the Vanderbilt Commodores in the 2024 season? Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. We're brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Guys, download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com. When you do, use promo code SECU for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's our friends at Prize Picks, promo code SECU to get your first deposit match today. A pivotal year upcoming for Clark Lea and the Vanderbilt Commodores. Dare I say his seat is starting to warm as head coach there in Nashville? Either way, after a really disappointing 2023 where, guys, last preseason we had everybody talking about the over 3.5 win total for Vandy. It's the easiest bet in college football. They were following up a 5-7 in which they won 2 SEC games. There were hopes of Vanderbilt potentially making a bowl game. And that came crashing down quite early when you lose to a UNLV team that wasn't very good. You go winless in SEC play. It was a rough 2023 campaign for Clark Lea and the boys in Nashville. As we turn our attention to the 2024 season, what's the most important game for the Vanderbilt Commodores? And guys, when you ask these questions, what's the most important game? A lot of it is dictated by expectations, right? A lot of it's dictated by what are the expectations for the football team. Now, the expectations for Vandy are extremely low. And as we pull up the schedule, guys, when you talk about success for this season and what Vanderbilt needs to do, what they need to show, I think the goal, guys, in 2024 for Vandy is quite simple. Win a SEC game. That's it. Win a SEC game. Because, guys, you could even upset Virginia Tech in week 1 and go 4-0 in non-conference play. If you go 0-8 in SEC play, who really cares? You know what I mean? Like, what does it really mean if you can't win a SEC game? And when you look at this slate, it doesn't help when you're Vandy, but I mean, one of the toughest slates in the SEC. You got Mizzou, you got the Bama game in Nashville, you welcome Texas to Nashville, got to go to Auburn, South Carolina at home, got to go to LSU, and then, of course, your friends from Knoxville come to town in the final week of the regular season. So, guys, it comes down to me for this. Again, can you win a SEC game in 2024? I think that would spell probably success for Vandy, and that would make Vandy fans feel like, okay, the Clark Lea thing is moving the right direction. We're getting back to somewhat of respectability to where we can go out there on a week-in, week-out basis, compete in the SEC, and even win a game. And so I went back and forth on this one, guys, most important, because you could label the Virginia Tech game. You could. Heck, you could say at Georgia State's the most important game, guys. You could. You could, because it's going to be one of the probably very few wins that you get in this season. But I'm not going with that. Like I mentioned, can you win a SEC game? Can you win a SEC game? Bottom line. And when you look at the schedule, my most important game for Vandy and the SEC game that they've probably got the best chance in, and I'm not saying a great chance, but the best chance in, and the most important game for Clark Lea and Vandy is that game second week of November against the South Carolina Gamecocks. Who knows what South Carolina, guys, is going to be at this point? They might be searching for the first SEC win, because if you look at their schedule, they got a big one against Kentucky in week 2. They don't win that one. Again, they very well may get to November winless in SEC play. It's very possible. So when you look at this schedule, guys, for Vandy, again, I just – if you go 4-8 and 0-8 in SEC play, I don't really know what you accomplished. You hit the over. Congratulations. You didn't do much more than that. And you've got a really ugly, 15-year, I think, losing streak to South Carolina. Vandy's got to snap that at some point, right? I think you look at that South Carolina game. Last year it was non-competitive, but it's been competitive a lot of years. Vandy's come really close. You could have argued 2021. They should have beaten the Gamecocks. I think that's a game where, again, getting a SEC win for Clark Lea is so pivotal. It is. I don't think going winless in non-conference play, even if it means you upset Virginia Tech, I just don't think that's enough. I don't think that's good enough just to win the non-con games. To beat Alcorn State, Georgia State, and who's the other? Ball State. And then you beat Virginia Tech and upset them in week 1. Like, that's all fine and dandy, but can you win a SEC game? Bottom line, can you win a SEC game? And when I look at the SEC games where Vandy is going to have the best chance, and I'm not saying it's a great chance, but that game against South Carolina, mid-November or so, early November, they've played them tight over the years. It's crazy that it's gone to 15 games, the losing streak has, because you think about what the Gamecocks have had at times. We've seen Steve Spurrier resign. We've seen them go 3-9. We've seen them not be very good under Will Muschamp. We've seen them have some terrible football teams. And Vandy still has never found a way to break that losing streak. I do think, too, if you're Clark Lea, there's pressure on Clark Lea, right? I don't know what it would take to get him fired. I have no idea. But when you're talking about Clark Lea's job status in Nashville, if you only win one SEC game, but it's the South Carolina game, and you snap 15 years of futility, and you snap that long losing streak, I think that will be enough for Vandy to cling to say, you know what? We're still Vandy. Things aren't going great. We're not making a bowl game, but you know what? That's a shot in the arm. Feels good to snap that streak, and it feels good to win an SEC game. And I think that game against the Gamecocks, that is going to be Vanderbilt's best chance. And for that reason, guys, I think it is Clark Lea and Vandy's most important game of the 2024 season. So, guys, when you look at the Commodores' 2024 slate, what say you? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Is it the South Carolina game? Is it Virginia Tech? Is it a different non-conference game? Or, God forbid, is it a different SEC game? Let me know. What would you say is the most important game of Vanderbilt's 2024 season? Guys, that's going to do all for me. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. Until next time, guys, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we'll catch you on the other side.